Hey everyone, it's Jenna. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my 30th birthday vlog, and decade birthdays are kind of weird, wouldn't you say, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah, so I have a weird little mental mind trick where I just picture myself at the next decade birthday. So like if you're turning 40, you'd really be happy to be turning 30. You know what I mean? It's like reverse psychology kind of. Mike doesn't get it, but I think it helps. So we're going to be going down to Florida, which is where I'm from. That's where I grew up. So we're gonna spend some time with family, go to Disney, go antiquing, and just do fun Florida things. So I thought it'd be fun to bring you guys along. And the drive from Charlotte here in North Carolina is 7 hours, right around there. So halfway is actually Savannah, Georgia. So we're gonna go to Savannah, and there's this really cute place called the Paris Market, and they have a bunch of antiques and home decor and just really cute, authentic Parisian food. So we're gonna bring you guys along with us, and we will see you when we get to Savannah. So the Paris Market was absolutely adorable. The decor and aesthetics really made you feel as if you were in a little cafe in Paris. It was very crowded when we were there, but we managed to score a little corner table, and I absolutely love the vintage distressed leather back of the booth. I thought that was such a fun detail. I ended up getting the Parisian sandwich, which was ham, brie, butter, and apple all warmed up together on a baguette. And for coffee, I got a White Forest mocha, which was iced coffee with white chocolate and raspberry syrup, and it was delicious. I would definitely make the drive back here for both the sandwich and the drink. So good. Even Mike's hot chocolate came with pink whipped cream, which was so cute. So after we ate, we strolled through the shop that was right next to the cafe, and this was so fun. Even though most things here were out of my price range, it was so cool to look at all of the displays and the way they had all these fun and unique goods styled throughout the store. They had an upstairs section, and then they had a downstairs section, which was much larger. And this shop was actually inspired by the open air markets of Paris, and the cafe portion was actually modeled after the founder's favorite cafe in Paris. And all the attention to detail really makes this spot feel so authentic and charming. It's actually been featured in Southern Living, and you can even purchase a leather back to a booth like the one in the dining area. However, you will pay a pretty penny for it, $2,487 to be exact, but it was still really fun perusing through here, and definitely a fun spot to try out to break up our drive. Okay, so we made it to Florida. It's the next day, and it's a really cold morning, and it's really early. So I figured it'd be a good day to go check out the springs, just because when it's cold, the springs have like steam that comes off of it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And it doesn't really happen here that often, just because, you know, it doesn't get that cold in Florida super often. So Mike and I are gonna head to a springs called Kelly Springs, one of my absolute favorite ones. It's right outside of Orlando. So we're just gonna kind of go and take it in, take some pictures. It'll be really fun. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna go antiquing, and we're gonna go to this little mom and pop antique place. It's family owned, and it has a really nice like French country vibe, which I really love. So that'll be fun to check out and see what kind of home decor we could get. So let's go head out to the springs. So Kelly Park, or Rock Springs, is a natural free-flowing spring that's a constant 68 degrees year-round. And because the water temperature is much warmer than the air temperature on a day like today, that's what causes all the steam. Kind of like a steaming coffee cup, just on a much larger scale. And this is my absolute favorite time to come and take in the beauty of this place. You can actually tube and float down the springs, and in the summer this place gets really crowded, but in the winter you can usually get the springs to yourself on a weekday morning first thing when the park opens, especially on a cold day. And this is kind of crazy to me because this is when this park is the prettiest, in my opinion. This place is already gorgeous to begin with, but then you just add that extra effect of the steam rolling off of the clear water and getting lit up by all the sun rays streaming through the trees. It's honestly so magical. And it does actually have to be a pretty cold day for this to happen, but it's still a gorgeous place with or without all that steam. So Mike and I were the only people there, and we just kept hearing what sounded like someone coming down the trail. So I thought someone else was coming to take pictures, and then I looked over and it was actually a family of deer. We kind of just stood there and looked at each other for a bit, and then they ran off through the trees to get a drink from the spring. But it was cool because there was a mom and there was also a buck with antlers, so that was kind of fun. And speaking of wildlife, yes, there are alligators here, but I have never seen one up in the north part where the spring originates. It'd be really rare for that to happen, for them to come over to where the swimmers are, but there has been one documented attack in this park farther down the river. So as far as swimming in the springs goes, there's a landing area where you can jump in or hop in an inner tube and just float down the river. You can bring your own floats or rent them at a shop nearby. I also like swimming along the spring just because the water is so clear and it's fun to kind of navigate along the rocks. The current can move pretty quick though, so if you want to avoid cuts and scrapes on your legs from the rocks, I would just go with a floaty or an inner tube. I've definitely left here many times with cuts on my knees and toes, but once you float down a little ways, the river opens up to a wider swimming hole area, and people usually camp out here with their kids, and it's a great place to eat and sunbathe in the summer. So one thing that I really liked about this particular trip was having the place to ourselves and just being able to hear the sounds of nature. Alright, so we're here at the Wirewood Market, and I'm excited to go in here because the last time I was here was Christmas time and they had so much good stuff. It's just one of those places where I always buy something. So let's head inside and see what we can find. So the Wirewood Market is one of my favorite spots in the Orlando area for finding unique home decor, and they have a French country vibe and they're really affordable as far as antiques go, in my opinion. And the store is made up of separate vendors who all own booths. So pricing will vary from booth to booth, but if you have never been antiquing before, I highly recommend getting out there and seeing what you can find. It's just a really great way to get those one-of-a-kind pieces that add character to your decor. So this right here is one of my favorite booths, and it can be on the pricier side sometimes, but I feel like the owner really knows how to source good stuff. I thought this trunk was so beautiful and it would look really gorgeous underneath a coffee table for decorative storage, or maybe stacked with something else next to a fireplace. And then I actually have a vintage lamp just like this in our living room, and they are from the 1920s and 1930s, and I loved the aged patina on the top and just how unique these look and how much character they add to a space. Now, I did buy mine for $35, and this one was priced a little higher than that, but I still thought it was really pretty. And going antiquing isn't always about finding old used pieces. Sometimes you can find new unique styling items as well, and this booth always has a really great faux floral selection. They're roughly $10 to $12 a stem, but I love how they are all something different and look super realistic. Like, honestly, you have to touch these to see if they are real. And I was obsessed with this mantle. I feel like if you're trying to get that really dynamic look with mixing old and new pieces throughout your space, adding an old chippy mantle is such a great way to do that. They honestly had a ton of mantles here, so there was a lot to choose from, and they were all different shapes and sizes and colors for, different spaces. And if you're looking for something with character to make a statement in your living room, replacing a current mantle with an old one can really help you achieve that lived-in look. And then the other things that I just really keep my eyes peeled for are neutral pieces made of things like leather, wood, brass, or just any classic material that have that aged, lived-in look to them, and they would add something unique to my styling. So there's lots of stools here. These would be great to prop a plant on. You could use them to style on a shelf, and I love it when they have that aged, chipped, kind of old world look to them. It's just really something that you can't buy in a store, and combining these old pieces with new ones just really gives your home that designer feel. And I love finding old rolling pins to add to my utensil crock just to soften the look of my kitchen decor a bit. And I also found some really cool bowls. This one though was $89, and I thought that was a bit high, but then I spotted another one for only $15, and I actually saw someone buying it as I was leaving. I knew a piece with such unique lines and features wouldn't last long at a price like that. So pretty. But this was just, you know, a really fun place to come and peruse to see what unique items they have. And I just love walking around too, seeing how all of the booths are styled by the vendors just for some free and fun inspiration. Okay, so I ended up only buying one thing, which was really good. Technically two, but I got two of these. I thought these were so unique and cool. They're little wall hangers. So I got this one and then I got this one. So I figured they'd be good to hang on like a bathroom wall side by side to maybe hang towels and then like hang a beach photo above it or something like that. Like just like a calming, you know, landscape picture. I don't know if you're getting the picture with me like awkwardly holding these like this, but I just thought that they were really unique and cool. They were 15 bucks each, and I'll definitely find a spot for them, whether it's just like an empty wall in a hallway or something like that. I just thought that they were really cool, and I love like this aged wood. And it is now gonna be Mike's new Halloween costume. Anyway, so that kind of concludes our activities for today. We're probably just gonna head home and then hang out with family, but I will catch up with you guys with what we do tomorrow. So, see ya. All right, so sorry, I've been really bad with vlogging, but yesterday we ended up going to Disney Springs. We walked around and it was really cool because my mom ended up surprising us with Cirque du Soleil tickets to their new Drawn to Life show. So it's all about Disney's animation and kind of working the fun circus type acts into the animation story of Disney, which was really cool. We actually set up in the second level, which I highly recommend if you ever go to Cirque du Soleil because there's so much going on and people are in swings and they run through the audience, and it's a really nice view. You're able to see everything and the tickets are cheaper. So that was really fun. And then we just kind of walked around Disney Springs. Another nice money saving tip if you go to Disney Springs, a lot of the restaurants there, especially the sit down restaurants, are all roughly about $30 a plate. So they have a Blaze pizza, which you can get your own personal pizza for $10 with 2 toppings on it, and it is so good. And they have a really pretty outdoor area where you can just sit and overlook the water, and it's super peaceful. And then we got some drinks at a happy hour. We decided to do Dirty Shirley's, but the guy put like a lot of grenadine in them. They were like straight up red, but it was really fun. The drinks were really good, and we just kind of walked around and enjoyed Disney Springs because I hadn't been there in a while. And yeah, the show was really nice. And then this morning is my actual birthday. So my mom made me Mickey Mouse waffles, which was our tradition growing up, so it was fun to be back here and get a Mickey Mouse waffle again. She has a really good recipe, so I had that. We are going to be going to Ponce Inlet, which is a really pretty beach. It's kind of in between New Smyrna and Daytona, and it's just kind of unspoiled. Not a lot of people know about it or go there, so it's not overrun with tourists or anything. They have a really pretty lighthouse, and we're just gonna kind of go enjoy the morning, maybe read a book. So yeah, we will see you guys at the beach. Okay, so after the beach, we decided to try Raglan Road at Disney Springs for dinner, and this place was so fun. It's about $30 per plate, but I feel like this place is worth it because the food is phenomenal and the Irish dancers performing right above your table really make the experience. They just switched off between dancers and singers, and it was just such a fun and memorable time. I will say that I did make a reservation ahead of time as we went on a Wednesday night in February and the place was packed. I also put a side note in the reservation that we were willing to wait to have a seat close to the stage, but they ended up seating us right away in front of the stage, which was so fun and definitely made for a great memorable birthday dinner. Afterwards, we swung by Everglazed Donuts just to give ourselves a nice quick breakfast for our Disney day the next day. All right, it's the next day and we're going to Disney. I joked with everyone, my sister's here, this is my sister Sarah, and I was like, oh, I just need to vlog real quick and tell them we're going to Disney. And they're like, well, that should be quick. We're going to Disney. I'm a really bad vacation vlogger. I'm working on it, so we'll see you guys at Disney. We're going to Magic Kingdom, by the way. And today's a really beautiful day. 75 degrees. I feel like I sound like a pilot. Clear skies, good visibility. This is it. See you at Disney. Okay, so we arrived at Magic Kingdom and we went on a Thursday in February. And I remember when I was younger, that was the slow season. But sadly, those days are gone. And now there's just a really busy season and just a regular busy season. But it was cool because when you check in at customer service, you can ask for a special occasion pin. And I just got a birthday one, but you can get one for about anything that you're celebrating, like an engagement, anniversary, your first time at the parks, etc. It's just a nice little free token, you know? So one of the big reasons we were excited to visit is because it's Disney World's 50th anniversary celebration. So they have the castle all decorated and there's special 50th anniversary snacks and memorabilia that you can only get during the 50th. So this celebration is 18 months long and it ends in March of 2023. So definitely lots of time left if you want to visit during the 50th. So our first stop was Space Mountain because the wait was only 45 minutes, which is really good for Space Mountain. And then once we were finished with that, we headed over to Thunder Mountain because that one was only 40 minutes. So we figured we'd take advantage of the low wait times. But Thunder Mountain is probably my favorite ride. And fun fact, Sedona, Arizona was rumored to be the inspiration for this ride, at least according to my Jeep tour guide in Sedona. And now I will say that the Thunder Mountain at Disney World is way better than the one at Disneyland, in my opinion. It's a lot longer and has a lot more drops than the original one at Disneyland, so I always make sure to ride this one when we come here. Definitely one of my favorites, and it was such a beautiful day to ride it. So, because the desert left us feeling a little parched, we next decided to head on over to Aloha Isle, which is the spot if you're wanting a tropical ice cream or a Dole Whip. And one thing that kind of surprised me was that most of the counter service restaurants here were all mobile order only. So definitely install the My Disney Experience app if you're planning on eating at the parks. You first had to order online and then you could get in line. So that was kind of interesting. But Mike ended up ordering a pineapple float, which was pineapple juice and vanilla soft serve, and then I ended up getting the tropical serenade, which is only available during the 50th anniversary, and it's pog juice, pineapple, orange, and guava, with coconut soft serve, and then topped off with a pineapple upside down cake pop. And it was so delicious, and definitely recommend this treat as one of my new favorite park treats. Such a good one. So next we went under the castle to see what the wait time was for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and I always love passing through and looking at all the gorgeous mosaics under the castle. So pretty. But when we got to the mine train, the wait was way too long and it was getting pretty hot, so we just decided to do the teacups instead. This one is Mike's favorite, and why we decided to do this right after we downed our Dole Whips, I cannot tell you, but it was a fun nostalgic one for him, and my favorite nostalgic ride is always the Barnstormer. So we did that next, and while waiting in line for this one, you can actually get a really good look of the new Tron roller coaster that they are building. It looks really cool and is going to be Magic Kingdom's first real roller coaster, so I can only imagine how long the line will be for that when it opens up. But for now, we just stuck to our little kiddie coaster, and the Barnstormer is just actually like a little coaster for kids. The whole thing is like 30 seconds long, so it goes by super quick, but it's still a really fun one, and the wait is never too long for it. So it was one of my favorites as a kid, so it's just always fun and nostalgic to go revisit it. Another great ride to do when it's hot out is the People Mover. It's a longer ride, so it gets you off of your feet and you get some really great views of the park, but unfortunately, like 30 seconds into the ride, it stopped and we had to be evacuated from it. So it was something that had never happened to me before, but we got a really good look of the Tron ride again, so that was kind of cool at least. And my other sister had come to join us at this point, and they have season passes together and always joke that it's a life goal of theirs to be evacuated from a ride, so I'm glad it could happen for them. But next we decided to go grab some lunch at the Pinocchio Village restaurant, and here you can actually eat at a table overlooking It's a Small World, which is really cool, but a place I had always wanted to try was the upstairs balcony. So apparently not a lot of people know about it, and we actually had the whole place to ourselves up there, and it was really cool because you get a nice view of Fantasyland, the carousel, and the castle off in the distance, and there's also a really pretty fountain that makes a really nice kind of like water feature sound. So it was really cool and peaceful up there, and definitely felt like a little secret undiscovered spot. So this place was also mobile order only, and they actually wouldn't even let you come into the building without proof of a mobile order. So Mike ended up getting an all meat flatbread with sausage, bacon, ham, and pepperoni, and I got the margarita flatbread, which was tomato sauce, mozzarella cheese, and balsamic glaze drizzle. So good. My sisters ended up getting fries, and just so you know, they are really good at this location. So next we decided to retry the People Mover since it was back up and running, and we did have to wait in line again, but it was only 20 minutes, so it wasn't too bad. It was actually a really pretty time to ride it. It was starting to become golden hour, so it was really pretty to just be above the park and watch it all light up. Next we decided to see what the wait was at Seven Dwarfs Mine Train again, and it said 85 minutes, but the line was so much shorter than when we went by before. And I found that the wait times aren't always accurate, and sometimes you just have to physically go by the line and see how long it is. So we decided to hop in, and sure enough, it only took us 40 minutes, which was less than half the reported wait time. But it was such a pretty time to do this ride. It was right as the sun was going down, and I love all the fun details they put into this one. It's kind of like Thunder Mountain, but just a lot smoother because the cars swivel. So it's a really fun one to ride, and all the scenery is just so cool and authentic. And then our last ride of the night was It's a Small World. This one's always a classic, and when riding it, we got to talking about how much money we think is on the floor of this ride. And according to the internet, when the ride is down for refurbishment, the money is collected and given to a Disney charity, and last time that happened, it was over $100,000, which is so crazy. But it was a really fun ride. This one's always peaceful and just good on the legs when they're tired. If you just need one of those rides, just sit down and relax in the air conditioning. And then lastly, it was time to scope out a spot for fireworks, and it was so pretty to see the castle all lit up and the reflection of it on the water. We scoped out our spot about an hour before the fireworks started, and I'm not gonna lie, this was probably the most miserable part of the night, but then quickly followed by the best part of the night. The fireworks are definitely worth the wait in my opinion, but it does mean waiting around in a crowd for about an hour or so to get a good spot. I do think getting a good spot is worth it because it makes a big difference to have a good view of the illuminations on the castle. As opposed to Epcot, you can really watch it from anywhere along the lake, but it's really something special when the fireworks are perfectly in sync and coordinate with the images on the castle. It's just a really cool thing to watch, and a good spot really makes this experience in my opinion. The show lasts roughly about 15 minutes, and it really is just straight fireworks with little tiny pauses in between for illuminations, but it really is the best fireworks display ever in my opinion, and the music is really good too, and definitely worth the stay even though you have to fight major crowds when you leave the park since the fireworks happen right at closing. And I'm not even joking, I got cornered and tripped by 2 strollers closing in on me at full speed. It was crazy. Since there is no parking in Magic Kingdom, you either have the choice to take the monorail back or you can take the ferry, and I always opt for the ferry because it's a lot less claustrophobic, it's a bit more of an experience, and it's just really nice to watch the illuminated castle slowly fade from view, and they even have little clusters of changing lights outside the resorts, which just really make it more of an experience and a lot more fun than kind of being shoved in a little people mover on a track. So I'm back home from my trip. Definitely a long stretch of like basically non-stop fun. So I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. If you did like the travel vlog, let me know in the comments because, you know I'm not a super seasoned travel vlogger, but I could try to do some more if you guys like them. But yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I'm officially 30 now, so thanks for ringing it in with me, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!